How's it, guys, and welcome back to another video here at Greg Dennis Reviews in pride association with Change Cars. Now, sorry, my intro is not outside the car like I usually doing, but we've got some really strange slash horrific weather here in Joburg, so it's kind of not allowed me to do what I normally do. But regardless, we're with the new facelifted Haval H6. This is the HEV version, so it's the hybrid electric vehicle. V for vehicle, not V for version. I went to the launch of this as well. I've got a video of that on my channel too, where you'll be able to have a look if you go click up here. But for now, I've got it on test, so let's talk about it. Now, the Haval H6 has always been one of my firm favorites when it comes to the larger SUVs from the Chinese auto manufacturers, as well as GWM being in the country for also one of the longest period of time for any of those Chinese automotive manufacturers. It does instill a little bit of confidence in you as the buyer when buying a car from GWM. So I'll also start off with that. So the Chinese cars have got a rap for being not very reliable, and they haven't been here long enough. Can we trust them? Well, GWM, yes, you can. Obviously, there's going to be isolated incidents with regards to parts and servicing and things like that. But all of that aside, you're still getting a 7-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty on this vehicle. And with this being an HEV, you're also getting a separate 8-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty on the electric system alone. So you're fully covered for up to 7 and 8 years on a car like this. Now, that's peace of mind. But speaking a little bit more in detail about this car, the HEV version of the H6. So this has got a 1.5 litre petrol engine up front, which is mated to an electric system. So you've got an electric motor, you've got a battery that's storing all of the energy, and that's allowing you to drive this car in a hybrid type of setup, which also gives you quite a bit of power. So this tops out at 179 kilowatts and 530 Newton meters of torque, which is a lot of power for a normal, like a Haval H6. That's pretty impressive. So when you put your foot down, the car picks up instantly and just keeps on going. And you can really feel that torque nicely. So whether you're doing the school run or you're driving to work, or just, you know, going out with the boys, taking the bike out, be sure that you're going to get there comfortably and in record time, because this car is pretty quick and it definitely lives up to the numbers that they're giving us. But you aren't just buying an HEV for the pure fact that it's got a lot of power. You're buying an HEV because it's supposed to be lighter on fuel as well. And that should normally be the case in a car like this. Now, Haval slash GWM does claim around 5.2 liters per 100 kilometers as an average fuel consumption on this car, which is actually really good. That's pretty low, but if you start to play in the plug-in hybrid setups, then you will start to see much lower figures. But with this being middle of the range between a normal car and a plug-in hybrid and electric and HEV, 5.2 is pretty good. Now, to also explain the difference between hybrid or HEV and a plug-in hybrid, this has got a small battery that the car charges by itself, and that keeps the battery full and allows you to drive the car in electric mode only, like through the parking lots and through your driveway at work, and when you're reversing, it's not going to ask anything from the engine. But if you want a plug-in hybrid, that's going to come with a much bigger battery and bigger electric motors, and that's something that you have to then plug in to charge. So there's quite a big difference there. But with the plug-in hybrid having the bigger electric system, you also get a lot more power and you also get a lot more range and can drive the car a lot further and faster in pure electric mode only. But when it comes to the fuel consumption that I'm achieving, I'm not getting those lower numbers that they claim. I'm currently sitting on between 7.1, 7.2, and it kind of varies between there, which I guess it's not too bad. It's an HEV, so it's also heavier. This is a big car, but I would have expected the fuel consumption to be a lot lower than that. But for a Chinese car, regardless, that's still good because some of them can range in the 10s and the 11s consistently, which isn't good. Now, I've done around 5.5 hours of driving, over 241 Ks. So I have driven this far enough in the suburbs, in town, a lot on the highway to actually give this car a chance to provide an overall and decent fuel consumption number. But as it stands, I'm currently getting that around 7.1. It's not too bad, but it's not what they claim. Now, this new facelifted H6 range starts off from 495,000 Rand and goes up to 686,000 Rand for the top spec super luxury HEV version. But what's good to note about what's good to note about the pricing is that you can get into this really cool H6 facelifted, beautiful looks, which we'll get to in a second, for under 500,000 Rand. And what's also great about this new generational facelifted range of the H6 is that they've now got two versions of the HEV that you can buy. And they've now brought in a lower spec version which you can buy for 641,000 Rand. If you are wanting an HEV version but can't afford the top spec one, you can now get one just lower than that, also benefiting from the full hybrid system. So it's nice that they've done that. They haven't just kept the HEV as the more expensive version, but they've now given you an option just below that if you don't want all the bells and whistles but just want a couple of the bells and maybe a whistle or two. And just as a matter of interest, if you are wanting to get an H6 that's not the HEV that I'm driving now, then you can get one which has a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. They've all got 2-litre engines. They're not the little 1.5s and 1.6s. So that's quite impressive. And they pack 170 kilowatts and 380 newton meters of torque across the range. So that's also some good power, decent power, big engines, 4 cylinders pushing these cars forward. They are big cars, so you don't want a small engine kind of struggling for its life, and that's what definitely is then going to aid in bad fuel consumption. But for now, I'm in the HEV, I'm enjoying it, it's comfortable, I've got all the power that I need under my foot and it just goes. But also, when I want to just chill and crawl slowly, it's going to kick into EV mode, it's going to be silent as ever, and it's not going to use any fuel at all. And then looking at the exterior design of the facelifted H6, the face has definitely been lifted, and I think that it looks really good. I don't think the outgoing version looked bad at all. I think it aged very well and it still looks really nice, but this new version definitely looks a lot newer. I like the headlights. I like that they've now got matrix LED headlights. You've got all of the lighting technology that you could ask for, and you've got some really cool looking daytime running lights running vertically up and down the side of the car. They're joining into the headlight setup, so it looks very smart. There's also now a massive grille in the front. Yeah, just imagine how big grills have now gotten. Well, the entirety of the new H6's front end is a grille. But the design of it and the patterns that they've used also make it look nice. It looks modern, it looks handsome, and it looks like a good car. The overall shape is still the same and it still looks like an H6, but towards the back you're now going to notice that there is no longer that light bar running from side to side, which I always loved. It looked really cool at night. It kind of gave Porsche vibes, which I didn't mind at all because that's always a good light setup. But they've now split the lights separately, one on one side, one on the other side, gone for that more traditional look. GWM badging on the back too. It doesn't just say Haval. And other than that, I think that it still looks nice. They haven't gone overboard with the design. They haven't changed it up drastically. It is just a facelift, and together with these black wheels, I think that it's a really good looking car. Completely murdered out. I think this is a really cool spec to look at. And with this being a top spec super luxury HEV version of the H6, it comes with everything. So everything you can think of in terms of technology and features in a car these days, this car has it. You've got a massive 14-inch infotainment in front of me here, crisp, it looks really nice, it works pretty quickly too. It's got the new operating system, full 360 camera system too, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But with the 360 camera system, you've also got that see-through bonnet effect, so you can see what's underneath you when driving forward and going off-road, which is also really cool. Nice digital display for the driver, heads-up display, you've got wireless phone charging, you've got a big panoramic sunroof, You've also got heated and ventilated seats for the driver and the passenger. Electronically adjustable seats, they're 8-way electronically adjustable. You've got the ability to also save them in the memory of the infotainment as well, so different drivers can have their own seat setup, which is good. You've also got a really nice sound system, but there are a few things from a features point of view which I'm not too happy about. So, for instance, the first thing is going to be the lack of USB Type-C. Now, this is the 2025 model, big screens, it looks modern, it's full of tech, but it's got USB Type-A, 2 of them in the front, not a Type-C. And then the big thing, the volume dial. Yes, there's no, I said volume dial, not a volume down. See, I thought I think I'm talking to it. Now, that's a sucky thing for me. Now, there's more than enough space here to do that. There's even an empty spot with the little quick action buttons over there where you can put a little volume dial or something. But they haven't done that. So you always have to constantly go and do that through the screen as a passenger, which is kind of sucky. And just like on the H7, you can do it on the steering wheel too, but you have to be in a specific mode on the steering wheel in order to use the volume buttons. Because if you aren't, then you're adjusting the menu on the screen in front of you. So you always have to change something, then you can do your volume. It's a mission. Guys, it's just volume control. Don't complicate it. Some other changes on this facelifted version on the inside compared to the outgoing version is going to be you don't have your drive select in the center here on the console anymore. That's now been moved to a stalk here behind the steering wheel, kind of like the Mercedes-Benz setup. So that's how you now go and change from drive to reverse, neutral, all of that, which is kind of now left this looking a little weird in the center. Just 2 cup holders, a little storage space. There now could have been more than enough room for volume, but they didn't do that. But anyway, it's still really convenient to be able to change your drive select behind the steering wheel. And I'm glad that the center console at least has those shortcut buttons, because at least you can go and turn on your climate control by doing that, and it brings up the climate menu on the screen. Then you can quickly go and get to what you need to, but there aren't any separate climate control functions down here for quick action to turn the volume, to turn the fan up, turn the fan down at a quick moment's notice. You can't do that. You have to go here, go into the menu, then you can only do it, which is a little bit sucky. And as I'm sure you heard earlier, the car did shout at me because I thought I wasn't braking in time. So speaking of all of its smart safety tech, it's got all of it, and you know it. Forward collision warning, rear cross traffic alert, the full 360 camera, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, all of that stuff. Blind spot monitoring, you think about it, it's got it. And then onto the cost of ownership portion of this video, brought to you by Naked Insurance. Now, this is what I was able to go and get this car insured for per month through Naked. Now, the great thing about Naked is that I was able to go and get that quote in under 90 seconds. So whether you're doing it on their website or doing it through their app, that's literally how quick it's going to take you. And the great thing there is that if you don't end up taking the quote, no one's going to call you back and hassle you and spam you afterwards. That's just something that they don't do. So go and get a quote from them, go and see what they can offer, and no one's going to phone you and hassle you afterwards. Now, they've got a really, really cool feature called Cover Pause, which is epic for December time, because when you go on holiday and leave your car parked in the garage at home, you can pause that cover, and you'll save up to 50% of your premiums per month by doing that, because you're not driving the car, so why do you have to pay your full insurance premium? Now, that's a really cool feature from an insurance company like Naked, really thinking about the people and trying to save them money where they can. So head to the link in the description of this video, go and get yourself a quote from Naked Insurance in under 90 seconds. And then when looking in the back, so for your passengers in the rear, they're going to be more than happy. This is definitely a big enough family SUV for there to be plenty of legroom and headroom in the rear. It's very comfortable back there. The suspension also absorbs a lot of the road imperfections, so you really do feel like you're in a premium car sitting in the back there. It's very soft and cushioned. Like I said, lots of legroom, lots of headroom, and you've there, for the first time, have a USB Type-C in the rear for your passengers. So they're clearly a lot more important than the driver up front to have his phone fully charged without it overheating on a wireless phone pad. So now that I've mentioned what's new about the facelifted version of the H6, I can also note things that aren't really that new about it anymore. And that's from a design point of view. Previously, the H6 HEV had a very different front end, and it stood out as the flagship model of the H6 range. But now, you wouldn't know the difference. Every H6 now looks the same, so if you're buying the close to 700,000 Rand version or the one just under 500,000 Rand, they look the same. Now for me, someone who might be buying the top spec version, I want mine to stand out and people know that I'm not driving the entry-level H6. I've got, you know, the most expensive one, and from the front you can't tell the difference anymore because it looks identical. It's only from the rear that you'll now notice that there's an HEV badge, but otherwise the whole range looks the same. And for the people buying the entry-level version, that's great for them. Now if you are in the market to get yourself an H6, whether it's this version or the previous gen, then go check one out on changecars.co.za. They're a website that sells new and used cars, but the best thing about them is that they vet and check every single dealership that sells cars on their website, essentially making them the safest online platform to buy and sell cars in South Africa. And they've got a really cool feature called Beat My Quote, where if you bring them a quote from a dealership that's not on Change Cars' website, not only will they match the quote, but they'll beat it too. So that's how eager they are to do business with you, and you literally will save money by going to changecars.co.za and buying a new car. And then on to the verdict, in the form of my GDR test. Should you get it, drive it, or remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? Now this isn't easy, go and get it. This is superior value for money. You're getting a car that not only looks really good, but it also inspires a lot of confidence in the fact that they've got a really, really good warranty in terms of ownership and peace of mind. It's also got a really good drivetrain. Like I said, the HEV version, which we're in now, has got heaps of power. The fuel consumption is also much better than a standard car, and we've been able to see that. It's also filled with all the tech. It's comfortable, it looks good, it looks modern. So overall, I really do like the Haval H6 HEV, so I would say go and get it. So thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a whole bunch more about this new flagship HEV version of the H6 from Haval. Now if you did enjoy it, please would drop a like below, and if you want to see more videos like this and other car reviews, then please subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.